Good evening again to you all, and we find ourselves again in a sort of a strange situation with this coming weekend being Remembrance Weekend, where things that we would normally do have been stopped. Parades that we normally do at Shiny Row and at South Hilton, we will not be present this year, and that's definitely a first for me, and I'm sure a first for a lot of you. However, I do know that there will be lots of acts of remembrance going on still over this weekend. Obviously in military events and things like that, things will be done slightly differently. And in our own events, things will be done a lot differently. But we are here, and it's Friday night, and it's fallen to me to do the quiz. So the band sergeant asked me to do the quiz with a military twist. So there are a few military edged questions. I've kept it quite, what's the word I'm looking for? I've kept it quite straightforward. Didn't want to get too Anaraki. So we're going to have 10 questions, of which the first question is actually out of 7. So you've got 7 things to get in this first question. So question 1. What are the names of all 7 regiments of the Household Division? That includes 5 Foot Guards regiments and 2 mounted regiments. I'll repeat that. What are the names of all 7 regiments of the Household Division? That includes 5 Foot Guards regiments and 2 mounted regiments. Okay. Hopefully I've given you enough time. Apologies if not. Number 2. Now the question is simply, what is the name of this tune? So here's number 3. Using the same tune as question 2, in what famous war film was the tune sung with great gusto to raise the men's morale against the advancing enemy? Number 4. What is the name of the Salvation Army march that was written to honour the work between the Salvation Army and Her Majesty's Armed Forces? Number 5. If it was a formality, how soon should you stop wearing a poppy after Armistice Day? Number 6. Out of the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force, which is the senior service? Number 7. One of the most loved pieces of music that is used on Armistice Day is Sir Edward Elgar's Serene Variation number 9 from the Enigma Variations. This variation is more commonly known by the nickname of Nimrod. But what does the biblical name Nimrod actually mean? Number 8. What is the name of the British Army regiment that specifically enlists men from Nepal? Question 9. We sometimes hear the singing "He's One of Our Own" from the football terraces. But which one of our own served in Burma in the Second World War? And the last question, question 10. How many years has it been since the end of World War II? Well, I hope you didn't find that quiz too taxing, and we'll have the answers at some point. And we'll also enjoy tonight a feature which is slightly different in terms of a musical offering. We're going to watch a video of 100 tuba players and euphonium players playing an arrangement of Nimrod. And we're also going to have a blessing from Bobby Quinn, one of our oldest members at the corps, who will bring us our devotions. But do enjoy, sit back, relax, and we'll soon have the answers later. Okay, so I hope you've got your pen ready to mark your questions. No cheating, and don't change your answers. So, number 1, the question was, what are the names of all 7 regiments of the Household Division, which includes 5 Foot Guards regiments and the 2 Mounted regiments? They are as follows. The Foot Guards regiments are the Grenadiers, Coldstream, Scots, Irish and Welsh Guards. And the Mounted are the Life Guards and the Blues and Royals. Number 2, the tune that you heard was Men of Harlech. Number 3, the tune that was used, the same tune that was used in the very famous film with Michael Caine in it, was called Zulu. Number 4, the Salvation Army march that was written to honour the work between the Salvation Army and Her Majesty's Armed Forces was, of course, the Red Shield. Number 5, if it was a formality, how soon should you stop wearing a poppy after Armistice Day? Well, technically, if you look on the Royal British Legion's website, they say you can do what you like. But in the forces, we were kind of obviously given more clear instructions, and we were told to remove it the day after Armistice Day. So that's your answer, the day after. Number 6, which is the senior service out of the Army, the Navy or the Air Force? And the answer is the Navy. Number 7, Nimrod actually means hunter. Number 8, what is the name of the British Army regiment that specifically enlists men from Nepal? And the answer is the Gurkhas. Now, which one of our own served in Burma around the time of the Second World War? And the answer is Bobby Quinn. And then number 10, the last one, how many years is it since the end of World War II? And the answer is 75 years.
Through this difficult time, we would like to dedicate this virtual performance with the euphoniumists and tubists from around the world to the brave healthcare workers, to the victims, and to the families of those whose lives have been affected by coronavirus 19. We wish good health to you all, and to our planet, we wish a rapid recovery to this pandemic.
Hello and good evening. Here we are nearing the end of the year 2020. I would imagine that most people in the world will always remember the year 2020. Here at our Millfield Salvation Army Corps, we had many plans and activities were swinging along, and then suddenly everything stopped by the COVID-19 virus. We were not able to meet for congregational worship, but thanks to modern technology, we can gather in small numbers with face masks and no singing. What could be more difficult than a meeting in the army without singing? Credit to those who keep us in touch with each other. I can think of no other verses in the Bible to challenge us than verses found in Paul's letter to the Romans. Chapter 8, in verses 35 to 39, who shall separate us from the love of God through Christ Jesus? And many hindrances are listed, but in verse 39 it says quite simply that nothing can separate us if we truly believe. November to me is a very special month, mainly remembering. Our Remembrance Sunday in particular, to me, I remember relatives and friends who were killed, or particularly in the World War II, and thank God that I, who was there, was blessed to return unharmed. Indeed, throughout my long life, the blessings from God through Jesus are countless. I've failed many times, but have been lifted up always by God's love. November this year celebrates 100 years since the cenotaph was erected in Whitehall, London. Personally, I also count it a privilege to be able to say this year it is 80 years since I became a senior soldier and bandsman at the Sunderland Millfield Corps. Last year, at the South Hilton War Memorial, Ray Brown, in his usual jocular way, said, "I'll take your photograph. You may not be here next year." He was right, and unfortunately none of us will be there. When Rainey, my late wife, and I left home to join His Majesty's forces, we were presented with Bibles, and as usual, there were two verses printed in the front. One, "In all thy ways acknowledge God, and he will direct your path." The other simply said, "Live to please God." Those verses have been a beacon to follow through life with its many failings and pitfalls. In Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 to 17, tells us to put on the whole armour of God, and then it listed various parts of the armour and various evils to which we are to fight, so that in all circumstances we'll be ready to fight against the darkest evils of the world. If we ever needed to do so, it is now, as we enter the second lockdown. Finally, I say to you, and would like to leave with you a verse from our songbook. Whate'er my future may require, His grace will surely allow. I live a moment at a time, and Jesus saves me now. I pray that all will remain well during these coming weeks, and that we will all meet again soon for worship at Millfield. And now a prayer. Lord, keep us safe this night, secure from all our fears. May angels guard us while we sleep, till morning light appears. Good night, and God bless you all, and keep safe.